Hello and welcome to Ilagan Whiteboard Fridays, where we look at various tax and compliance related issues in a user-friendly fashion. Today we will look at a very new Companies Bill 2012, which has just been approved by Rajya Sabha and is awaiting note from the President to become an act. So let's look at some of the important perspectives from a startup. There are a lot of changes and it's a whole new bill replacing a 56-year-old Companies Act currently in force. So a lot of things have changed, but let's look at only some of the salient features which may impact the startups. So the concept of one-person company has been introduced. That means now a single solopreneurs or proprietors kind of person or a single guy can form a company, a corporate structure with a limited liability. We have covered a little more in detail about one-person company into another video. Then enforcing right of first refusal. So right of first refusal is something like the existing shareholders enter into an agreement where if any shareholder is exiting, then he has to offer a right of first refusal. So this was not a part of the standard memorandum or articles of the company which was till now, but now this has been brought in officially, so you did not enter into a separate agreement. So right of first refusal will come in as a default thing for the shareholders of the company. Concept of small companies has been introduced, so companies like OPC and companies having a turnover or an authorized capital of less than 50 lakhs and certain turnover ranges are now treated as small companies. There are certain relaxations which are proposed in terms of reporting and compliance requirement for small companies, which is a very good boom for the startups. So when you are a small company, you may actually expect certain relaxation on the compliances for you. Increase in number of directors and even the shareholders. Now till now the number of shareholders in a private limited company is supposed to be up to 50. This was excluding the employees who form part of the employee stock option. Now this number has been raised from 50 to 200. So this is good in a way that now you can actually raise small amount of money from various people. So you have a larger access of capital to run your business. So because you can actually now go up to 200 shareholders in your company. The number of directors earlier were restricted to 12. Now you can have by default 15, and even with a special resolution if required, you can increase it to more. So this would help startups to bring some more senior members and advisors to the board of directors, and if needed you can actually offer more board seats to investors and other senior members. So this would help to take a more strategic decision to run your company. So that's a good thing that has come. One important thing, so till now it was possible that all the directors and the shareholders of the company, of a private limited company, can be can be foreigners. But now a new clause has been introduced where one director has to be resident in India. When we say resident in India, that means he or she has to spend at least 182 days in a particular year to qualify as a resident. So one person needs to be in India for at least 182 days or more. That is one very important step. So not sure what is the objective, but this could be one reason why till now a lot of companies were being run completely by outside. So boom in one fashion, that there would be a better accountability and transparency in India, but bad in a perspective. Now people sitting outside cannot just open a company in India. They need to find a local director to be in India always. At least 182 days is a large, it's more than 6 months. So in a year, so that's one important thing. Overall, very promising Companies Bill. It promises a lot of new changes, which is in line with the current set of requirement or the new age technology or requirements with the global best practices and all. So this has been mostly designed to bring in more accountability into the system, more transparency, more electronic e-filing and all. Now accounts and other records can be maintained electronically. You need not carry a bunch of documents and stuff and keep them for specified periods. So a lot of changes from that perspective, mostly related to accounting. Auditors, there has now been a cap key. The auditors cannot do audit for more than 20 companies. So this would actually help each and every auditor to give more time, bring in more due diligence into the whole affair. So as I said, more accountability, more perspective. Earlier there was no cap on the number of companies you can be a director, like the last cap. Now that has been capped to 20 companies, so you cannot be a director in more than 20 companies at a time. Some more new things like independent director, so you need to have an independent director for specified companies. Even some specified companies need to mandatorily have a woman director. So some of these changes are there, but these are primarily the ones which actually impact the startups. So it's a long list of changes because the whole act has been actually remodeled. So, but these are the ones which actually could be of importance or value from the startup's perspective. We'll cover other important aspects in other videos in more detail as to what other changes companies bill has brought and how it could actually impact or help the companies do business in a better fashion. That's it on eLagan Whiteboard Fridays. Thanks for attending the same. Please feel free to drop us an email at support@elagan.com or check out our knowledge base at elagan.com/kb. Thank you.